Everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today we have a brand new trailer for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Okay, so this is a brand new movie, not a TV series. I believe Netflix does have some kind of TV series. I don't know if it's animated or not, but this is apparently a movie, and it's coming to theaters. The reason I was kind of confused is because I knew Netflix was involved somehow with a Resident Evil production. So I guess it's not this, or maybe I'm just mistaken. Either way, you know, look, I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil games and the actual lore behind everything and all that stuff, right? I find it actually really fascinating. And of course, the old series of movies deviated greatly from the actual, like, you know, story of Resident Evil. You know, that first movie, it was still pretty enjoyable, and the second movie tried to, like, you know, kind of weave into the games and everything, but basically from the third movie on, you know, for the next like 5 movies, it just did whatever it wanted, completely unrelated to anything at that point. You know, they were corny, cheesy movies that, you know, it was kind of like they were almost like the Fast and Furious movies. You know, if you want to turn your brain off and just watch some stupid action and zombies, and, you know, a lot of it is very Matrixy ripoff kind of thing, then sure, whatever. They were enjoyable for what they were most of the time, although they were all pretty bad. But, you know, a lot of fans have been waiting for a proper, you know, translation of the games, because I think there is a really interesting, great story here that could be made into a series or a movie or whatever, if they just did it right. Now, I have no idea what kind of, you know, I have no idea what this is supposed to be. I don't know, like, what the budget was for this movie. I have not heard a lot of people talking about it, which isn't really a good sign. So I don't know if this is supposed to be more of a, you know, old school straight to DVD type thing going on here. And I also have never heard of any of these stars playing these characters, which, you know, that's not necessarily like a bad thing, right? Like, not every movie has to have major, you know, stars attached to it, but I don't know. We'll see what this is. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this trailer for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, which apparently is a movie coming to theaters. I don't know why I thought it was a Netflix thing, but okay. And go.
Come on.
Okay, kind of cool.
Every story has a beginning. Discover the origin of evil.
1998. Okay, I appreciate that. They're keeping it to the 90s.
Your conspiracies weren't true when we were kids. They're not true now.
We need to expose Umbrella. Watch this.
I'm afraid, Claire. I'm afraid of what they're gonna do to this town. You see, Umbrella, they had an incident. I'm talking Chernobyl, if you know what I mean. People are getting sick.
Police department.
Let
Okay.
the world know what's really going on.
The dogs. November 24th.
We have to contain this.
Shall we go?
Go into the mansion. There's that one actor.
What were Umbrella doing here?
This is where they're experimenting on him.
We should split up.
I think one of those is supposed to be Wesker. I think that's your Jill. That might be Wesker in the front there.
What the?
Itchy tasty.
We gotta get out of here.
We're gonna take Umbrella down.
Interesting song choice, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's the tone they're looking for this movie. Kind of interesting. Okay, exclusively in movie theaters. Okay. All right. Well, we'll pause it there. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, them playing that song does not, affect. That doesn't trigger something on YouTube. If it does, then I'll have to like mess with the audio to get it to even, go through. Okay. Also, what is this here? Global fan art contest. Enter for a chance to have your art featured in the upcoming movie marketing. Resident Evil, welcome to Raccoon City. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I like that. All right, so my immediate thoughts, my very, very first immediate thoughts is that like, okay, I can definitely tell they didn't have the budget as some of these other movies. Like, for example, the upcoming Uncharted movie with Tom Holland and everything. I feel like that movie has been promoted more and clearly has a bigger budget than this movie, just to compare it to another video game movie that's coming out. This one definitely feels like it's interesting that it is coming to theaters, because it does look like something that should be on Netflix, or it would have come straight to DVD or something like that. Because I can definitely tell based on the CG and stuff like that it does not quite have that budget. But I can also say this: it looks like it clearly they're taking some liberties here. It looks like they're definitely like mishmashing the first and second game, which is okay because the events of those games happen so close together. It's okay that they kind of mishmash them together, right? Like, I don't mind that at all. Otherwise, you'd be stuck in the mansion the whole time, and it looks like they're kind of doing both. They're like, all right, there's going to be the police department and Raccoon City itself from the second game, and then we're going to go to the mansion from the first game. I'm okay with that. That's not a big deal. So I'll say that immediately. Like, this movie's getting points just for like trying to stay closer to the original actual story than those other movies did. And here's my other thing is that, like, because I'm coming from a place of like where those other movies went, where the budget for those movies seemed to get lower and lower, and they got cheesier and cheesier. That's where the bar's at right now, and I feel like, just based on the accuracy of like the actual story they're trying to tell, they're already easily gonna pass that bar, and for me that's good enough. Also, I love the way that this is one of the liquors. I think that looks crazy. Yeah, so some of the CG looks pretty rough. It looks like a little bit of a low budget CG, and that's okay. That's not a big deal. Zombies are luckily cheaper to make. Like this dog, it looks good enough. It's pretty creepy looking. There's gonna be a lot of comparisons to those older movies. Let's see. So here we're gonna lots of flashes of stuff here, and of course this is like our famous like box art of the that scene where they turn around. That's like the famous like reveal moment, like, oh, zombies. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in this movie they do go to the mansion first and then they get out of there. Who knows? Maybe they only stay in this actual. So I am glad that it seems that they are wearing STARS uniforms, because when the trailer started and they're talking about how like, oh, we've always had these conspiracies and we got to take them down, it almost looked like they were not gonna be STARS members, for like a moment at least. Or maybe that was Claire, because she's not a STARS member. That's right, because it definitely just did not look like they were police for a moment. So that might have actually just been Claire talking. I think I got Claire and Jill actors confused. So I do like this. There's at least a Trevor, experiments done on people inside the mansion. So I love the conspiracy angle being done at it. I will say this actor here, the reason that this is kind of this guy's appearance is kind of worrying, because I forget what it was, like Street Fighter: The Legend of Shang-Chi or something like that. It was another like attempt at the Street Fighter series in the early 2000s, and this guy played Balrog. And that movie was so cheesy and cheap and really, really bad that, like, I don't know, whenever I see this actor show up in things, I don't even know what his name is, but whenever I see this actor show up in things, it always kind of like kills it, you know, like it always like, oh god, it's gonna be one of those movies. And you know, again, this does look like it could have been a straight to DVD or straight to streaming, you know, movie, so maybe it is one of those movies, you know, but hopefully it's better than that Street Fighter movie. And it looks like it is, you know, just based on like, because that's my thing, is like, it seems like it would be really easy to do Resident Evil correctly, you know what I mean? Like, just get the references and the locations from the games, you know, get like the overall story correct, which doesn't cost a lot of money. Like, once you have the set of the mansion or the set of the police department, all you need after that is like, oh look, there's a bunch of references to names and characters that we recognize, and zombies, which zombies are cheap. Like, that's why, you know, people, you know, even the cheaper zombie movies can still have like a crowd, because it's like, just take a crowd of people, splatter some fake blood on them, there you go, zombies, right? Like, zombies are cheap, you know, and that's why it's like, it doesn't seem like it would be too hard to pull off a Resident Evil, and I think that's why this might actually work. So yeah, you know what, I'm okay with this. This doesn't look super horrible. Does it look kind of cheap? Sure, yeah, it does. But this looks more accurate. It looks kind of like, you know, the song choice in this trailer was kind of a strange vibe. You know, it kind of tells me that maybe they're not gonna be playing this entirely like super crazy serious. I think, is that the same guy that the actor that I was just talking about? Does he die? I guess he dies at some point. I don't know who's supposed to be playing Wesker. I think we have, you know, like, this is Claire, you know, but just based on the jacket, I can tell it's Claire. Let's see what we got here. I think that's Lisa Trevor. Okay, I believe this is Wesker here. This is Leon. This is Jill. You know, so again, they're kind of taking both the first and second games and they're mashing them together. So you're gonna have Leon and Claire show up with the other three, and of course Wesker's probably gonna turn on them, and you know, the mansion and all this. And you know what, I'm okay with this. Like, this mansion seems kind of smaller than you would think it would be in the game, but it's a mansion. It, you know, they got the style right of it, and you know, it looks like it could serve the creepy vibes as it's supposed to. So I'm okay with this. Honestly, I am. I think this is fine. Do I wish that it had like a much bigger budget and you know, bigger star names or actors we recognize? I don't know. Maybe that would make things worse. That's the other thing, is that like, sometimes when you have a bigger budget, the studio is more likely to interfere and more likely to add all these notes and try to put all this other nonsense stuff in, because the studio is trying to, you know, protect their investment, all the money they put into it. So they're trying to, like, you know, like, oh, we need this, audiences like this, you know, so they'll put in stuff like that. And that's usually what kind of goes wrong with a lot of, like, you know, game adaptions and stuff like that, is that, like, oh, the studio wanted a whole bunch of stuff and they're like, we need more action, we need this and that. So it being a cheaper movie might actually work to its benefit, because, you know, if there's not as much money put into it, the creators might actually have been able to stick closer to the actual source material. And I think that's the best impression that I'm getting from this, is that it feels like whoever's making this, you know, whatever their budget is, and whatever they have resources available to them, it feels like they care about the actual source material. Because so many times, especially video game movies, it feels like they just don't care about it, you know? And that's kind of been the curse of video game movies throughout the decades, is that, like, most of them felt like they were being made by people who just did not give a damn about the video game, and they thought it was silly, and so they tried to make something else, you know? Luckily, that has been changing recently, you know, and we have our Detective Pikachu, we have our Sonic, we have even Mortal Kombat, you know, even though that one did change quite a bit. I could tell that a lot of that, there was care there, you know, you know, even if that one was still kind of iffy. And I still feel the same way with this one, you know, like even if this one turns out to be kind of cheap B-movie schlocky kind of, you know, like straight to streaming thing, it feels like someone behind the scenes cares about the lore, you know, like, and that's a good thing, you know, like you don't put references to like Lisa Trevor in here and all that stuff if you don't care, you know, because they put some deep cuts in here, you know, so I do appreciate this. Yeah, that was Welcome to Raccoon City. I'm okay with this, you know what I mean? Like am I ever gonna have that dream version of this? I don't know, maybe one day, but like right now I think this is a lot better than where those other movies ended up going, so I'm okay with this. All right, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.